All right, so everybody except for 2 people said the same thing. And so let me just explain what I see, and then we'll talk about it. But all right, this is a pretty large amount of scat, and what I see is really large coils, all kind of wiggle around in here, in all of these. Like, I think the coils are quite large, and there's a lot of uric acid, and the coloration is generally kind of light colored, or you know, brownish or something. In contrast with this scat here, which is like that weird atypical dove scat, and has really tiny coils, and it's like more black in coloration. And so I think this is a Roadrunner, and most everybody else said it's a Roadrunner, but I'm happy to discuss this with other folks who thought it was something else.
I went back and forth. I put you know, the family, just because I saw so much like grassy vegetation and like tons of it, and I saw just such little, like, so lacking in like anything else that would be like more just proteiny, maybe some insect parts, but it was like so vegetative.
Yeah, I mean, they eat like tons of lizards and stuff.
I know, but man, there's so much vegetation here.
That is full of vegetation.
And so, hang on, let's not even look at that scat or that scat. That's the scat we were pointing at.
Sure.
That scat has a ton of vegetation in it.
Tons.
For sure. And so, I mean, it's like 80% vegetation and 20% insects. And it's an omnivore to me. It's not, and it's not giant. It's not like a really massive.
The uric acid is pretty thin.
And so my argument would be that in this scat, I leaned toward dove, but that I don't know there's enough evidence to say for certain that is a dove or a Roadrunner.
Tiny coils in here. Dude,
and that little piece right there.
I know, so we had bigger coils, but it was moving into really small coils here, and so I felt like we had both, and I was just like, I don't know, just kind of leaned a little slightly heavier toward dove.
Well, this may have been an example. So this, I'll have to talk to Casey about it, but you know, we looked around in here, and there's a ton of scats like this all over the place, and we're like, oh, cool, here's another one. And we kind of put them all together for you guys, and that one does have a shit ton of vegetation in it.
So if you had only asked that scat, I would have probably said Roadrunner.
Right. Exactly. I was in the same process.
That's why I asked you guys,
do
you think this is the same species?
No, this is interesting for sure. Just so you know, right now, I'm not totally unattached to this.
Yeah.
I can very much see the argument for both of these.
So I think it's cool for us to try and eventually figure this out as trackers, but I don't think we're quite there yet all the way.
Well, I mean, there's definitely the Roadrunner scats that are like obvious Roadrunner scats.
Right, for
and
sure.
There's definitely those dove scats. Like that one right there, I feel like there's no chance that's a Roadrunner. Like that right there is
right.
I mean, this is that big blob dove scats.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, totally. I can buy that.
But yeah, you know,
this I
think we probably screwed this one up.
And I put pigeon rock dove, just thinking of the family, you know, like dove family. Because I just wasn't quite.
Well, so I think this is actually. Hey guys, can we make this one discussion, please? So I wanted to say something. So I think this is actually a good thing to point out, because almost everybody said Roadrunner, but a couple of our, you know, really experienced trackers, I think the only 2 here who already have specialists from other evals, said something else, and I think that's because to a quick glance, it's a Roadrunner, and then you get down in there and you're like, oh no, look, there's a little bit of vegetation in there, and they're kind of drawing from all that, you know, the additional experience and finding some other stuff in there, and that's something that, yeah.
I think it's tough, man.
I think we should probably.
I'd say keep it,
just
and
take
everybody gets it right.
Take both.
But Roadrunners do. Whoa, Chris! Everybody's getting it right. Okay. I just wanted to point out.
No, shut up! Shut up! But dude, this is like grass. and like this is like leafy vegetation.
And there's really small coils.
Anybody want that?
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Anybody need to see that?
Well, it is cool. I mean,
We're all doing
You know what, Chris, you're right.
No, you're right.